All right, I'm Pops. Black Mirror Season 7, Episode 2, Bête Noire. That's right, the Black Beast, the bane of our existence. And this one was odd, to say the least. Like, I was really not quite sure exactly what to make of this one. It is not as technologically driven as we would think until the very end of the episode, but it starts off with sort of like a very benign, sort of like chocolate factory worker who, it's like she's showing off her wares with her little boyfriend and it's going through days of the week as she's working on these different projects and what she's trying to do to develop the new sort of like chocolate sample for like a focus group. And in the middle of this focus group, they're definitely having all these bizarre reactions to the food. Like it tastes terrible for some reason, which is kind of weird. And then suddenly in walks this young lady who is reminds her of someone from her past. This lady in the pink. That's right there. So yeah, Maria, who's the main character, this is Verity Green. They shared some sort of time together as classmates, and that's what's going to play out on screen as we sort of unpack what actually was said and done, and the rumors that abound with her that ruined her reputation. But what we get is just a weird series of events where she's there, they kind of run into each other, they have an awkward, silent, sort of like catch up moment. They say, "Oh, I'm going to get a job here." So there's no jobs open. And then suddenly she has a job. And it is very odd. I mean, I'm not quite sure I totally knew how to kind of play everything up. It's like this weird, sort of like genie in the bottle thing. Anything that she says or wants or desires just sort of manifests itself. I think what happens here is you have sort of like all these uncomfortable moments at work. There's this ongoing gag about who's drinking the almond milk. She's allergic to nuts, and they get into bickering over it. It kind of keeps coming up, and this girl's always in the background throwing a little tantrum. And then, of course, Verity has this scene where she walks in and just grabs the milk. And what's weird about the scene is she's so smarmy and nasty about everything. And then Maria is so confident that everyone's going to figure this out because they've gone through a series of these sort of like Mandela effect moments. This one is so blatantly obvious that we caught on security camera. And then we're going to play back the tape and we find that's not at all what actually happens. Maria grabs the milk and chugs it herself. And she's like, "No, I have a nut allergy." Like, what's a nut allergy? There's no such thing as a nut allergy. So the awkwardness and weirdness is kind of hard to get my head around at this point. I'm watching the episode and I'm like, is there a point to this? I feel like she's like a wizard. Is she just all of her wishes are going to be fulfilled and she can just go around and torment Maria? It doesn't really have much of a purpose or a point. But everything just continues to escalate and escalate. It costs Maria her job. She's upset the boyfriend, who, by the way, he's on again, off again in the episode. But then once they have their little bickering over the Mandela effect name change, the Bernie's versus Barney's thing, then he doesn't even exist in her thought processes. He's never in the consideration, by the way, as she basically is going to go and confront Verity at basically what appears to be her house. Yeah, that's right. She lives in like a mansion, and Maria's like, "What the heck is going on?" She walks in and just sees a room full of servers just blasting out energy. And of course, their setup is, oh, she was a computer science nerd back in the day. That's why they're rumors with the teacher. And she's just trying to get back at me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? Lo and behold, there's this little pendant, and she picks up on it a couple times where Verity will grab the pendant and she'll make a statement, and now suddenly the reality shifts. She's like, "This controls everything, doesn't it?" It's like a little pendant. And then Verity basically just explains that she has this quantum mechanics, quantum physics, solved the multiverse thing. She uses this pendant as sort of like the wish maker to go and pull whatever reality or moment she needs into this universe. And at some point, she's even made herself Empress of the universe. That's right, worshipped by acolytes. I mean, I loved it. I was like, what is going on? And the thing is, she just wants revenge that happened back in their childhood. She'd already approached the other classmate who threw Maria under the bus as the orchestrator of this rumor, this intercourse sex rumor that she had with this teacher, which evidently was false. And now it's just a revenge story. And there's basically just going to be a scuffle and a fight. We're going to see who's going to get to the pendant first in time. As the police are, there's shots fired, the whole thing. And she ends up with the pendant. And of course, now she has control. And what is her wish? Her wish is not that her life be normal, not things get. No, she wants to be emperor of the universe. It's like, what? So This is a very strange commentary on the Mandela effect. Sort of like this very on the nose conversation about the multiverse or being gaslit. And I don't know, it just seems, it doesn't seem like very technologically driven because all of that is sort of like outside the scope of our camera, outside the scope of our view. And we really can't see any of the quantum mechanics and the pendant or anything, how it works. We just know this wish maker thing just keeps manifesting. And then when our main character, who's basically been destroyed by all this, finally gets the power in her own hands, she basically just becomes the same evil doer again. So I was kind of let down. I got to be honest. I actually thought there would be some sort of interesting commentary. The performances are really, really fantastic. Maria is great. Sienna Kelly, who I don't really know much about, she's really remarkable in this episode. She's fantastic. She's got a nice range for everything that she tries to do. The other character, I think Verity Green's character, is a character named Rosie McEwen. I think is how you say her name. And she's great too. I'm playing basically like snarky girl witch boss, but hey, that's a dime a dozen these days, but she's good at what she's doing. So all in all, very midland for me. No real rewatchability. What a waste of my time. I'm going to go 2.5 out of 5. The quality of these shows are just fantastic. I mean, every little detail is there. It gives you what you need. I do feel like Charlie Brooker probably needed to have other people write stories. I don't feel like he is tapping into things that are really that interesting. It feels like Twilight Zone, Outer Limits stuff in the earlier seasons, and now we're just not really getting that kind of thing. And I feel like if we use other sci-fi writers, people come up with these crazy ideas, we'd be able to pick and choose some of the great ones. And the fact there's only so many episodes per season, I just expect better, if that makes sense. So another forgettable Midland type episode for me, but the concept of having the machine that you could have this pendant, it also feels very selfish and narcissistic by both Verity and then of course Maria, who takes her place. Like you didn't have any desire to like create a better universe, a better situation. Like it just feels all so narcissistic, and I feel like maybe that's true. Maybe that is sort of the indulgence of what most humans would do, but I don't think everybody'd be that way. And I feel like there's no conversation on why she is that way. She's just this petty, nasty girl. So, I don't know. Mean Girls meets Black Mirror. That's pretty much what we got here. So, anyway, that's my take on it, guys. Let me hear from you guys. I am Pops.